Hi, welcome to the fourth video for a Catholic woman. If you don't know who I am, I recommend you go watch the introductory videos first. If you do know who I am, because you're watching this, hi again, it's so good to see you. I'm filming this on my phone because my laptop, I used my laptop for all of the previous like 3 videos. But obviously the last one, the audio was really weird, and I figured that I wouldn't put you guys through that anymore. So here we are using my phone, and hopefully this works out. I'm also just, yeah, so that's what's happening. If it's a bit shaky or if I just start moving around and like, you know, all that stuff. If all that stuff starts happening, that's what's going on. So yeah, I guess I'm just gonna give you like a brief intro to like what's been going on in my life, recently, and then we can go ahead and talk about like discernment and, like vocations and like trusting God and stuff. So kind of brief, short version for what's going on with me. We just recently came off of Thanksgiving break. So we went and I saw my family and it was really nice. And like, it was good to see them all again. 'Cause it had been a little while. And we kept the politics mostly at the door. We didn't, bring stuff into the table. So I was really proud of us. Let's see. Oh, that's an awkward lighting. So, okay, there we go. That's better? Question mark? I guess. I don't know. Is that okay? That's okay. Anyway, yeah, so, except for there's no mouth. There we go. Does that work? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so Thanksgiving was good. And it was nice to see my family and kind of reset and have a break away from like all the school stuff and get everything figured out. So that was nice. And then my prayer life has been going pretty well. I have daily dates with Jesus in the evening. And that's really helpful because it's just like, it's nice to kind of have that like time to just sit and like relax and like do a rosary. Cause like I wear the scapula, and so like that's my thing, is that I do a rosary every day. So yeah, so it's nice to do that. And it really helps me just kind of build a better foundation with my faith, instead of just like kind of going about my day and if I just go about my day and don't take specific time to pray and like sit with God, like it kind of, he just gets lost in the clutter of my mind. Like I'm very easily distracted, and so if I don't take time to specifically pray, then he just kind of gets lost, and that's not good. If you're trying to build a relationship with God. So yeah. Yeah, so that's where I'm at in general. And now we can go ahead and talk about vocations and trusting God and that kind of thing. So, oh yes, also, let me know in the comments how your Thanksgiving went and, how you've been doing. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, so vocations and, trusting God. So my vocation, like I tried to start like my discernment process. So I started it like more intently, I guess, this semester. And I thought I was doing okay, and I like got to the point where in like my prayer and stuff, I could see myself going either with like religious life or marriage. And I wasn't really looking at single life. But I suppose like that's always an option as well. So, but I was kind of looking at both of them, and so I got to the point where I could see myself in either one. I could see the pros and cons of each, but I failed to realize that I was a mess personally. Like I wasn't able to like make myself go to bed on time, and so I wasn't waking up on time, and then I wasn't getting to class, and so then I wasn't learning the material. Which is not good if you're trying to pass your classes. You kind of have to know what you're talking about. So, I realized that like if you can't like manage the basics of like what you yourself need to do, you can't be in a relationship with another person who also has needs, or you can't be in an order where they have, their what's the word that religious orders have? Their whatever it's called. Like the thing that they do. So yeah, you can't really contribute if you can't even take care of yourself and manage your own life. So I realized that. So and I spoke to a lot of people over like Thanksgiving break. And what I realized was that like I need to like get myself kind of in order, and like I got to like that fork in the road um when I was a mess, but now I have to kind of take my steps back and get back to that point when I'm like more cleaned up and able to manage like myself and everything. Um, Obviously relying very heavily on God. Um, so yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing now. Like I've taken my steps backwards. I'm working on my sleep habits, which it took like it's been years of like I'm a sophomore in college now. I don't go to Maryville, by the way. This is just it's a nice shirt. Um um I'm a sophomore in college, and these habits have been accumulating probably since like I was a sophomore in high school. If I think about it. So it's gonna take a while for these habits to get better. But it's a start, you know? Um, so I mean, so far so good at least. And so I'm working on getting myself into a more healthy place so that as I look forward, there's not all that clutter of like chaos, like the chaos within is not reflected outside. It's, I think when I get myself cleaned up and like I get my habits in check, then I think that will reflect onto the decisions that I make and the paths that open up in my life that God chooses to kind of direct me to. So that's kind of where I'm at with my discernment and stuff. And like I've spoken with a very dear friend of mine, several dear friends of mine, and like my one friend, she's discerned marriage. She's not married yet, so obviously that could still kind of change. But she discerned marriage, and it took her 6 years. So and she took a path of like no like the path of like no dating while you're discerning, like that kind of thing, which I think is one way to do it. There are other ways to do it. I think that's probably in terms of like discerning marriage and religious life, I think it's definitely not fair to someone if you're dating them and you're also trying to discern religious life, because then it's just setting both of you up for heartbreak if you do end up discerning religious life, and there's the pressure of, well, I'm in a relationship with this person, so I feel like, because if you're in a relationship with someone, you're dating them to see if you could be compatible in marriage. Obviously not, to see every aspect of compatibility in marriage, like not sleeping together, but like, personalities and like life views and that kind of thing. And so if you're also trying to discern religious life, there's going to be that pressure to not discern religious life, but then you're not being honest with yourself, I don't think. So, yeah, that's one path that you can take if you're discerning. That's probably the path that I'm going to try to take. But I'm coming at it, I think, a bit differently than she did. Just because like I'm trying to sort out myself, and I'm just gonna see what doors that opens, as opposed to just focusing on the green doors or the blue doors or something. So yeah. Let's see. Oh yes, and trusting God. Trusting God is really important when you're discerning. It's something that I struggled with a lot, and I am still struggling with a lot. It's something that like I realized that a lot of my problems, like with my sleep habits and like with academics and just like different decisions that I made or like make kind of currently, a lot of it sometimes is difficult because like I am kind of nitpicky about how my life goes. And so sometimes, like, it's really hard for me to say, like, you know what? I need to give this up. Like, I'm like, you can gnaw on some like metaphorical bone as long as you want to, but that's not going to change the fact that it's just a bone and like you need to give it up. And like, you can only do so much, basically. You know, like, you can only think about something for so long before it's just like pointless and you just need to give it up to God. And like, a lot of time, like, we just need to give it up to God from the beginning, you know, from the get-go. Actually, all the time. Yeah, that's an all the time thing. Just give it up from the start, and you know, you'll be better off in the end. So yeah, you know, it's just trusting God is a big thing in any part of your life, but especially I think in discernment. And that's kind of something that I'm just working with and kind of learning as I go, which is what this channel is for. So yeah, so this is a pretty long video already. So I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye for now. I'm sorry that this video went up late. I did takes yesterday, but none of them really felt right. So yeah. So let me know how your Thanksgiving went and how you're doing. And go ahead and follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you feel like it, please. That would be fantastic. And I think Instagram messages. I think I have my Instagram DMs open. I'll double check on that, but you can definitely DM me on Twitter if you need help, or if you have questions about what like my process was and is. So yeah, peace out. Love you.